Welcome to Planet Pluto.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango, tango, tango.
You know you got the wrong intro, right?
I got the wrong intro. Hold on. That don't mean nothing. Hold on. Let me go on back. That was Planet Pluto Pseudo. Okay, hold on. Too much. Wrong day. I know LB in the chat like, what the French toast is going on? Well, wait a minute. Where is my, did I delete? Oh, no. Here it is. Hey, everybody. Let's try this one more time. Here we go. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your birthday. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair.
Isn't that better?
That's much better. But hey, I had a party, hardy, drunken weekend, but I'm sober now. What's happening, good people? How are you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, right? AKA Key Lolo. That's right. Coming to you live and direct. That's right. Live and direct from Cleveland, Ohio. And then right over there, y'all know who it is, right? Woo, there she is, the one and only, my BMF. Y'all got to figure out what that means. Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. And oh man, we got Michelle Allen. If you listen to the beginning of our intro, which I had the wrong one at first, there she is. In case y'all wondering if she's for real, there she is, Michelle Allen. How you doing? How you doing? We got LB. LB, so glad you are feeling better, and don't be clocking out at work. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep it on the down low, down low. We can do it. Hold strong, stay strong. Change is coming. Be the change you want to see. And you know what, guys? Take it easy out here. There's a lot going on, a whole lot going on. And Cheryl and I, we want you guys to take it easy, sit back and enjoy life. Because guess what? No one is getting out alive. Isn't that right, Cheryl?
No one.
We're not going to get out. And that's Sir Percy. Sir Pooh is in the chat, which you do have our condolences. He lost 2 family members within a 6-month time frame. So take it from Sir Pooh and I and Cheryl, who have lost loved ones. You must enjoy this thing called life, because we're not promised tomorrow. So go for it, go for it, go for it. Carpe diem is what we like to say here. Everything here is going super duper cool. Oh, our virtual co-host is back. There she is, Miss Sandra E. You moved to the Metro ATL. Oh, so you're officially an ATLian if you went to the Metro ATL. So what's happening, good people? We are so glad to see you guys are in the chat. And so again, condolences to Sir Pooh. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I know if I lost my cousin, I probably would not be going live. I know she'd probably be like in heaven, like you better. So my condolences to you, sir. Inbox me in case you guys are doing a little something. You know how we do it out here with family. We do whatever we can to help the family out. So if y'all want some chicken or whatever you need, just holler at your girl, and I will do my part as family do. We always look out for each other in our moment of need. All right. That's what we do here. Welcome everybody from Facebook, also LinkedIn. So glad to always have you join us, which we're getting a lot more views on LinkedIn. So we appreciate you, LinkedIn. We're starting to see that. It's so nice that you guys are hearing what Cheryl and I, we're now calling this it's time for a new conversation about Afro hair. And so you are, tuned in to America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. We are over on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel, and this is 2 of our 3 podcast series. In case you guys are not aware, we actually have 3 podcasts. We have one in the afternoon strictly for barbering, cosmetology, nail techs, and students of aesthetics, and it's called So You Think You Can Do Hair, compliments of our homegirl, our former intern, Miss Samaria, okay, who's, by the way, she's in school and college. So Miss Samaria, thank you so much. And then our second one, this is our original one. It's called The Dumbest That People Say About Black Hair. And here on this particular podcast, our goal is to really debunk some things that could be costing people a lot of money and time and undue frustrations with their hair, with so many myths out here. And then our third one is Planet Pluto Pseudo, and that happens every Thursday at 9:00 p.m. and that's EST. And then if you're on the west side, if you're on the West Coast, that's going to be 6:00 p.m. And that particular podcast is specifically, all the content is geared for our licensed professionals in the industry, as well as those hair aficionados or those hair care junkies, such as everyone that's in the chat today. And so again, we thank you guys for joining us on our 125th episode. And we're talking about Project 25, right, Cheryl? And the question that we're asking is, how will this affect the hair care purchasing habits? How is this going to affect us? Because we just don't really think of Project 2025 affecting us in an interpersonal way. It's just, for some reason, people see Project 2025 as way like over there.
Yeah, they do.
We're here to tell you guys it's not. But before we get into that, we are going to play our theme song just to get you guys a little warmed up here. And it is by our sister, the one and only Sister Rachel Evans. And this is affectionately called Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. And here is a little, what do you call these things? I'm losing my words.
A little graphic, little intro, little thumbnail.
This is created by Cheryl. So here we go here. And again, this is called Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. And it's by Sister Rachel Evans. Here we go, guys. Welcome. And we are ready to have a wonderful evening. Cheryl and I, we got a little vocal arrangements going. They ain't know we could sing it, that's Cheryl.
No, they didn't know that.
Y'all like, what? Keep this thing? I can. What's that? When you do your mouthing? What's they call that? When you mouth something? There's a word for that.
Syncing.
Lip syncing. There you go. Hey, that was some good pantomiming. Is that what's called, pantomizing or something like that? Hey, yeah. I'll be very happy if you let me do your hair. I'll be phoning to y'all. These other podcasters, all they want is y'all life. We just want to do your hair. You know what I'm saying? That's all we want to do. That's why we'll braid it, we'll brush it, we'll do all that, color it. Yeah, we'll cut it. We'll add pieces to it. Now, we can't do it, but for food, we gonna get y'all together. Hey. Yeah. Heartache and struggles. What's happening? What's happening over on Instagram? So glad to see y'all in the chat over on IG. We're always happy to see the Instagram family. Yeah. I was so very happy if you were What up, Facebook? Facebook be rocking it out with us. Let me do your hair. Hey ho, hey ho.
They don't know nothing about that, people.
They don't want none. If y'all from Detroit or Cleveland, y'all can do the hand dance. Y'all gotta tap on it's every fourth count, not 3. Hello, Sir Paul. Oh, all right, come on. We'll show y'all how to hand dance. Y'all can sweat y'all fur out. Hey, get it. Woo. Now, I want to spin for y'all because they got a little spin. In Cleveland, we be posing with it. Gotta have your gaiters on.
Oh, they don't know nothing about that, baby. And your leisure suit.
Hey, your leisure suit. We still wear Coogee up in here. Yeah, we still rock them Coogee sweaters in Cleveland.
Yeah, why? Oh, okay. Shit, them Coogee.
Them Steve Harvey suits. Yeah, that's the hey. Let me do your hair. All we want to do is some hard. Alright, guys, that's the sexiest part of the song. If you're a jazz enthusiast, you love a little Najee, a little Kenny. Alright, guys, we made it in. It's so nice to see everybody remembering everyone in the chat. And we're just always appreciative of all the support that we're getting because the channel is like authentically growing. So we have about a little bit over 2,500 subscribers, or as we call you guys, partners, to help change the narrative about Afro hair. And so Cheryl and I were always extremely appreciative of the people who are watching this during the live. And if you watch this post the live, we thank you very, very much. You guys are truly sharing the content. All of the comments that we receive, someone told me you talk too much. I was like, duly noted. So whatever we got to do to make this better, we ain't going to get upset. So without further ado, we're going to get into the topic, which is all about will Project 2025 affect how we as consumers operate in our purchasing power, in our home hair care, and all of our decision makings. We have to talk about that. And that's really, really important. But I do have we have 3 current events that we want to share with you guys. All right. So first, Cheryl, we always got to have a zany one, right?
Oh, God.
So here's a zany one, guys. You're going to love this one. Like, come on, Kilolo. I'm just telling y'all, I don't make this stuff up. This is coming from The Guardian. Here we go. Check that out, Cheryl. Read that one, Cheryl. Cheryl, like, you going to make me read that one? She like, ketchup on hair, a tea bag manicure, surprising beauty hacks. Experts swear by. Cheryl, you are a cosmetic trichologist. So we're gonna. This is why we have this podcast. This is the dumbest that people say about Afro hair. of course, this is a hair coloring hack, right, Cheryl? Can you please, for the 999th time, please share with our lovely partners what's the real problem with putting food on hair? Because we talk about it, but can we just talk about why that's like the dumbest shit that you do? Why are we putting food on our hair? Like, it's 2024. Like, why are we? We're not going back. I'm sorry, I digress. Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
You had a good, yeah.
I had a mental breakdown.
Yes.
Irritating.
I don't think we understand that there is cosmetic grade of
solutions
and substances and chemicals. Just like that's why you can't preserve food-based natural ingredients in cosmetics. That's why when you guys made them, you guys had to put things in the refrigerator. You had to do this and that because food is not good uses for cosmetics. Now, at the end of the day, that's a white girl on The Guardian, right? And I have no idea, besides the staining component of tomato sauce. I don't know what the sugar inside of it makes the hair fuller.
You just don't. I mean, they're saying that if you have like for you swimmers out there, because they're targeting this to a certain audience. And what you guys have to understand is that as cosmetologists and barbers and natural hair, experts, these things are not, they're just not hair care savvy. So the rationale behind this is that if your hair has a green stain to it, it is true that red does neutralize green. Those are hair coloring laws are universal. So it doesn't matter where you live in any part of the world, red and blue makes green. Red will neutralize green. But if you have green stain in your hair, more than likely it's not aside from hair coloring, we're talking about minerals. So can you talk about the minerals that turn hair green? Can you talk about that a little bit? And once you hear Cheryl talk about why and how minerals turn the hair green, this hair coloring neutralizing green, it is not going to help. So do you mind just talking about why does hair turn green?
Why does blonde hair turn green?
Yeah. I'm sorry. See, she's the kind of, I'm still upset. I'm sorry. We got to get through this because people are doing this, and this is bad. And once Cheryl tells you why hair turns green, I'm going to tell you in the salon I'm going to take it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to try to at least make it simple. Okay. Blonde hair, because it's blonde and it's most likely porous. Okay. Out of all the hues, right? Out of all the hues, not black, not green, not black, not violet, not blue, not green. It's most time out of all of those, green is the less dense. So blonde hair being at the very bottom, it grabs on to the next best thing. And that's usually green in any hue. So you may stain it, unfortunately, ketchup or the red in ketchup, in the tomato, because it is from a natural source. It can only be a demi or a temporary. It's not going to sink in and be and neutralize green.
And what if their hair turns green from like swimming? Like minerals that turns,
Right. But
Yeah.
you have to remember, only colors below green are going to turn green, not any hair color above it.
Okay.
Because the hair is absorbing almost like in a spectrum. So blonde only has green at its axis. It doesn't have all of the subsequent other colors, because green's the first one, is the darkest hue it's going to run into. Now, I know we want to get into a chemistry conversation about pH, but because blonde is almost void of no color, it has very little yellow, red, and brown. And so it's not going to get to purple and violets and dark greens and jet blacks and brunette. And so that's just a chemical. Now, from a colors perspective, you can better answer that than
Right.
I.
Yeah. And we just want you guys to know that if your hair is turning green, like Cheryl just explained to you guys, if your hair is turning green from mineral deposits, from like swimming, things of that nature.
Now you have to remember, water is not really blue. It just appears blue. When you put it in your hand, it's no longer blue. Right? And that is what chlorine, and it's not any other mineral, it's the chlorine.
Okay. So you have that, there's your identifying mineral that's turning it colors from what they call swimmers, or maybe you live in a hard water town or whatever. So that's one way the hair is turning green. And then she also said if you're artificially, adding pigment, or maybe you used a color that had green as an underlying pigment, like ash blonde, like that kind of stuff. Okay. Ketchup won't help. And I think the best answer in the chat is coming from Miss Luana. And she says, yuck, ketchup on hair. So Luana, you get the soul clap for the afternoon, the evening, whatever. You may squeeze this on your hair. It may, truly, we don't even say neutralize anymore. We say it will refine, because the green is going to be there, because like Cheryl just said, it's ketchup. And so they do have cosmetic grade solutions for when your hair turns green, whether through chemicals or chlorine. The cosmetic solution is going to be the answer. Lawana has the best answer in the chat. Yuck. Do not put this on your hair. There is no expert who is recommending this. I can assure you. There is no expert who is going to tell a customer, after they spent any amount of money on coloring their hair, any color, that if you see green in your hair and you're pressed, use ketchup. It's just not going to happen. It just won't happen. All right. So Lawana, thank you so very much for your feedback. What's up, Dewey? We see you over in the house. It's so nice to see you. All right. And then our next one, again, we are about to get into our topic tonight, and it is all about, will Project 2025, or how is Project 2025 going to affect us when it comes to our hair? And so here is a perfect segue into this topic right here. Bam, they're still going at it. Yes. The ongoing Miel Organics controversy. Now, I also have an article, Cheryl, that was sent to me by Mr. Will Shelton. I actually met him over on Instagram, and he has another, kind of take, on this situation here. But when we look at this situation with Miel, Organics, and how the public is responding to whatever they say is happening to the hair, and we think about this whole, they want this diversity, equity, and inclusion, and thinking about the people who acquired this company. So a far reach, but we got to go there because that's just some of the issues here in Black hair care, because this was a quote unquote Black owned company. And I'm not saying Procter and Gamble was all diversity, equity, and inclusion, but she sold that for some reasons, leaning into she wanted to advance the product, but she wasn't able to do it because she didn't have the resources. So here comes, let's diversify this situation to make it happen. So we're hopping right into it. 100. This is our 125th episode, and we're talking about this project 2025. And we're going to begin with this is a very strong, segue into it, is how we're giving it away. And of course, we're going to explain to you what Project 2025 is. But Cheryl, I just want you to explain the giving it away in this era of this very conservative movement called Project 2025, and how we might be complicit and we're not even knowing it.
Absolutely. Good segue. I appreciate that. But this last current situation with Mael is it is one of the things that is a precursor. I think it's predictable, unfortunately. We have to move. If we're going to progress, we have to move past Black owned. Okay. And because Black
what you mean move past Black owned? You're scaring everybody. I know y'all like, wait a minute, sure. What you mean?
Because Black owned can be hidden. Black owned could be 1%. And the other 1% can be scattered across what? A bunch of other people. Let's say you have 25% and somebody has 75. So is it Black owned? Technically. But here's the thing. We need to move our thought process past Black ownership and to make sure that two things are happening with our brands when we develop them. Black influenced and Black controlled. Is the company's narrative, message, ethos, pathos, logos, codes, is their operations, their modes of how they do business? Is it for Black interests, Black influenced, and Black controlled? We don't give a shit about silent partners because they are keeping the company well resourced and financed. We have heard of something called silent partners. And I understand that things you need finances and you need a capital, of course. Problem is when you get into capital and you can design your capital structure. But here, once again, we get locked up in the fact that she just did a good effort and she's just a little founder all off up in college, or she's from little Texas someplace. And we get so excited about that and don't know that some powerful, Silicon Valley VCs is pulling the strings and she's just the face.
Well, so with that being said, now in this whole Project 2025, this conservative, movement, they have some, they kind of have, we're going to take you guys into a little bit of it that's kind of close to what we're saying here, but they are, they're really staunch on this DE&I. And I'm not saying again that Procter and Gamble is a Trump supporter or a Project 2025 supporter, but we're just on this issue of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so here she did this, but she says she's still at the helm of it. So even though that was diversified, they got a little inclusion. Do you think if they stay at the head of their company when they sell it, does that support what you're saying, that it still has to cater to their target audience? So if she's the CEO, can she still ensure all these people who are watching this, and maybe how many people in the chat has tried Mielle Organics? Just put a me, a yes or no. Please share with us if you have bought this product, as Cheryl answers the question. By her being the CEO, can she still meet their needs in this inclusion, this globalization tenor, if you will?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not. There's an old saying, and I don't know if you guys have ever watched Shark Tank. And one of the things that I don't agree with Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Leary,
Damon.
often, but I do agree with him on one thing. If you are coming to me to ask me for money, and you are coming to me to grow your company beyond your ability to, according to how fast you want to run it, right? Or how fast you want to grow it, right? Well, you do it yourself if you could do it. And so I'm not going to spend millions of dollars to give to you, knowing that you are probably missing 90% of the information you need to make your dreams happen. Not saying that you didn't do a good job, and you could still, and you don't necessarily, because see, Black people always feel that they have to get acquired, which means their company becomes solvent and emerges into another conglomerate. That doesn't mean that. It just means that you need a couple of $1 million, or that's what you started the shit in the first place for. Because let me tell you something. You know how many millions of dollars that my father was, hey, Mr. Morrow, we want to buy your formulas. We want to do this. Mr. Morrow was into his shit. He wasn't hungry. He was a successful man, and he wasn't willing to do that. She was willing to do it. And it comes to, and also the miraculous thing is that all these companies are so willing to do it so soon.
Okay, well, the chat has responded. Nobody here has tried it. They're not a fan of it, and they don't think that she can really do the job. Even as the CEO, they don't think that she will have what it takes to really work this brand through. So here, this is gentleman, again, his name is Mr. Will Shelton, and he talked about this silent agreement. Now we're moving in, we're getting a little deeper into Project 2025. So the silent agreement between Black-owned businesses and the communities that built them. So people are saying, I don't think she's going to be able to do this. And so I'm gonna. So as you talk about this, he says there is an unspoken contract that becomes a double-edged sword. And so is this? And I know this is not. Now I'm not saying he's saying what you're saying, but is that the double-edged sword of you sell it, you built it with the intent either to sell it, or maybe you just really wasn't prepared to grow it, but yet I don't want to lose my brand, so I got to do something, Cheryl. So on one token, I'm going to sell out, and then the other token, I grew my business. But now the people are saying, oh my gosh, because you did that, now look what's happening, and because you had this unspoken contract. So where is this Black founder or creator, where is she or he to go to grow, to keep this type of that unspoken contract and controversy to happen?
It's a good question. Because first of all, I keep saying to people, what the hell do you guys think the word Black and Black hair care meant? So if Black hair care as an industry was synonymous with the actual racial identity and nationality and ancestral connection to the word Black, because it meant Black people, African descending people, this new era of highlighting the Black founder, I think that not saying that that's what you have up there isn't true. It is probably also from another era. But this era, okay, because the brands are they're not salon brands, they're not really tested, they're not really brought through the professional rank of the salon, which is the hallmark in barbershop, which is the hallmark of that code of conduct that he's talking about. Okay, because the actual businesses are actually barber shops and salons. They're not Miel body shops. So they're just brands. But my point is that the commitment that's in that headline has nothing to do with brands. It has something to do with people who pay a tax base to help the community be able to get services and potholes fixed and fire stations and ambulance and police and things of that nature, and counsel people and grow that way. The brands are symbolism. Okay. Symbolism. They symbolize that we are upwardly mobile and that we are doing well and we are entrepreneurial. Okay. But because Y2K, in which Maya falls into this new movement, because they are so outside of the historical richness, that they're so disjointed. And so you are talking about a Johnson, you're talking about a Soft Sheen, you're talking about a Dudley. All these companies, before they make any acquisition moves, they have made multis of millions of dollars for their family and their communities 40, 50, 60 years later. These companies are selling within 7 years.
All right. And so with that being said, now remember, guys, we don't rehearse this. So now we hope you can begin to see where this Project 2025 is really affecting the industry, because she said the challenge, all right, the challenge with this company, and again, we don't know her or anything, but the reason why she's in this particular pickle is because of I'm going to say it again, quote Cheryl, the historical distance. So remember, in Project 2025, there's a big push to move that education. They're really not liking this whole Black history, the whole, the civil rights, our voters, so our voting rights. So all of this is kind of interwoven. We don't see it manifested in something like this, but clearly if this woman has some true Black education or African American education with information beyond, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, you guys need to know who Dr. Willie Morrow is. That should be a part of Black history and a host of other people. But this is what happens when people are not thoroughly educated. So first, I'm going to show a clip to explain to everybody exactly what Project 2025 is. And then we're going to go into a PowerPoint that Cheryl has put together so we can, how we say it in the hood, make it make sense. All right. So we already see miseducation. There's a couple of pillars that we see in this Project 2025, racial injustice, reproductive rights. Remember, all of this stuff is in our hair care products. They're accusing our hair care products of all these issues. I hope you guys know this. So you've got some racial injustices, you got reproductive care, you got education, K through 12, student debt. All of this is the manifest. This is what you get, when people don't have the support in the right kind of a way. So with that being said, let me show you guys the clip so we can all be on the same page of exactly what is Project 2025. So let me show this right quick, Cheryl. So here we go. Share. All right, here we go.
Of the US presidential campaign. And of course, no relation to... So what exactly is it?
Project 2025 is the brainchild of the Heritage Foundation, which is a super conservative think tank that rose to prominence in the 1980s and then fell out of favour and has since remade itself really in Donald Trump's image.
The core of the vision is Mandate, a 920-page blueprint on how federal power can be used for things like shredding climate goals, criminalising pornography, deploying the military to deport non-citizens en masse, and limiting access to abortion even further.
What Project 2025 does is put the substance behind Donald Trump's showmanship. And part of that means quite detailed plans to dismantle the institutions of American democracy.
The cornerstone.
Madam, it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped.
All right. Okay, I'm just stopping it. All right. So there you have a clear understanding of what they're doing it. Now they're using it under the guise that, you know, Donald Trump is all behind it. We are not here to say that. We have no proof that he is or is not. But the whole conservative movement is a very powerful one. And so with that being said, now we will put the link to the Project 2025 in the chat so you can have it. It is truly 960 pages. All right. That is not a joke. Okay? It truly is. You don't try to go and print it. I was going to print it out, but it would have cost me $211. I ain't giving them $211. Now, I want to before we show Cheryl's slide, I want you guys to understand that this Project 2025, these people put a lot of thought into it. What they did, which I thought was really, really powerful and very foxy on their part, was when they wrote this. Now, you know, we're always talking about sourcing things up, right, Cheryl? Mm-hmm. You got to have the source. You got to have the source. These people were so powerful in their own conservative agenda. All of their scholarly, sources, all of their research and citations are by people who supports this Project 2025. This is a serious manifest. I mean, can you imagine if we had thought of something like that? And hopefully Cheryl's going to give us something to think about when we talk about having an agenda, because sometimes we're focused on the wrong things. You know, they're putting it up behind, Donald Trump. They're putting a lot of stuff so we can't see what's going on, all this Diddy stuff and all this crazy stuff. And we're missing, the bigger picture of what's happening right before our very eyes. So Cheryl, here is... let me just come up to what you have up top. So can you just start us off with your mandate for leadership, the conservative promise, and then you over here, you got the legacy of the Black beauty industry makes millionaires and it's under attack. So what do you mean by your title under the guise? And look at all these images. Like, this is a very powerful, excuse me, y'all. This is a powerful ass image. So why did you do that like this? And exactly what are you saying with this picture?
I am saying that Black people cannot afford to not be conservative in their own terms. And when you become anti-Black history, anti-Black slavery and Black narratives, things that have happened to Black people that affected us exclusively. It's called exceptionalism. Okay. And so Black people have what we call an exceptional relationship with the federal government, meaning that we have, out of all of the immigrants, including European immigrants as well, have had a relationship unchanged within 260 years. The same basis of the relationship that we have had with white America, people who look like the founding fathers. We have probably fought a couple of battles, which is the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment.
Yes.
The Voters' Right Act. We've got the Board of Education. There's the Dred Scott. There's a lot of other things. Yeah. That has affected us. Jim Crow, obviously, convict leasing, sharecropping, and things of that nature. And the plantation has these histories. And I think that one of the things that Black people forget is that when you have a people and you live close proximity of a people who have no incentive to change the modus of operandi merely an inch, and I will probably say this, and I know Black people will disagree, but the life you're living now is probably the equivalent of an inch from 1865. And so once you go back, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially with this Project 2025, when she said we're not going back, I mean, the sophisticated language, what's that word I want to use? Oh my God. Just the whole semantics. The Project 2025 is the epitome of semantics for take Black people back on that plantation.
No. Say it again. Take Black people back again.
Back again. Thank you. All right. It's fancy semantics.
It's great for them, but
right.
Take us back again.
And I'm telling you, but when you read it, it's a foxy ass read. I ain't gonna hate. I'ma congratulate. If you are a reader, I'm talking about you like to consume just reading material, especially scholarly stuff. This will get your rockers off like no other, and I commend them for it. But what I want you to do as we move into this conversation about Project 2025 and its effects on our industry and us as consumers, you use the word "we're not conservative." Now, to me, when I hear that, now y'all know I'm from the project,
I said we're not conservative enough on the things that we need to conserve.
Okay, correct me. We're not conservative enough on the things that we need to conserve. So I'm just coming out of that sentence. To me, that still sounds like, is that a Republican thing? Like when you say conservative, it means something like Republican. So I want you to really go into this conserving. What do you mean by that? And yes, and by the way, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Sandra's in the chat, and everybody's loving the podcast, by the way. Cheryl. So explain, what do you mean by conserving?
What I mean by that is that in a game, what we call a race, and everybody's jockeying for other people's resources, mainly yours. Well, let me just say, and I want to just before we go, a disclaimer: you Black people are one of those commodities. You are one of those people they're talking about.
Right.
Okay, now I want you to understand. Go ahead.
No, it's just the jockeying for resources. Please pay attention to what Cheryl is saying to us. I don't think we realize who we are and what we mean and what we've done for these United States of America as a resource.
Right.
So I'm sorry, Cheryl.
No, go ahead. And let me just say this. And so stop saying you want a seat at the table. Okay. You are the table. You are what they're talking about. They're not talking to you. That's why you're not at the table. Because they're not talking to you, because you have nothing to talk to them about, because they're talking about you. Now, immigration is a conversation of fear. Believe me, they already know that the immigrations that are set to come into the country within the next 10 years are going to add about $7 to $8 trillion to the U.S. economy.
Say that again, please. I don't think they heard you.
And I want you guys, and I'm not, you guys can Google it. The CBO just said immigrants are going to add approximately, and that's just an approximate, about $7 to $8 trillion to the U.S. economy within the next 5 to 10 years.
And we're not talking them Black jobs, y'all.
No. And let me just say this to you. One of the main reasons, because you have to remember now, Project 2025 is just a book. But Mr. Trump saying that he doesn't know anything about it, and I don't give a shit about saying that he does know about it, because he has already done it during COVID. Most dark-skinned people of color, okay? Most dark-skinned people of color, he did not let into the United States with visas. There is something called the HB1 visa. It's called the Genius visa. Mostly India and China takes advantage of the H1B visa. But probably, and maybe you guys don't know this, the smartest people at this point under most secret societies, and I'm not saying secret societies like the Illuminati or anything junk like that. What I am saying is that most think tanks, people from Nigeria are considered the smartest people on the planet. He did not let them in any visas. So when it comes to Project 25 and making sure that people of color are marginalized, he's quite familiar, and that is what we call conservatism. Conserve what the founding fathers started. You weren't at the table then, your black ass ain't at the table now.
And we hope you guys are recognizing the seriousness of these particular podcasts. Now, again, you're not going to get this on the other podcasts because they dumbify. I hate to have to.
Well, they're just doing news, right?
Yeah, they just stupefying y'all down with stupid content, like. But we just want to use, because we got to kind of drape you into what they're trying to do. Because like Cheryl said, we're the resources. So they're going to dumb you down with stuff like Miel Organics. They're going to dumb you down with stuff like the Diddy stuff and all this stupid stuff, because it's the 3-card Molly. It's the 3-card Molly trick. We need to 3-card Monty. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem. You're excited.
It's the trick. And so what we're doing with this podcast is we're putting this. And so when Sandra says hit the like button, you got to do it, because we want other people who have more influence, because we only got about, remember, 2,500 followers. Some people have 1 million. We want someone to take our clip and show it like we show their clips, because no one is having this conversation about how we are the resources that they're talking about. When he says make America great again, this is what he's talking about.
You don't know what that means. Just when I don't give a shit how much you watch that white man's mouth move. You do not know what he means. Why? Because he doesn't tell you. You know why he doesn't tell you? Because he ain't talking to you. Whoever he's talking to already knows what it means. Mm-hmm. They already know what it means.
If you just go to the first page, which we're going to show y'all that first, just a little snippet of that first page of Project 2025, you're going to make up your own mind. But in the context of Black hair care, that how rich this industry is when they're talking about bringing people in other ways. We're not talking about styling hair, guys. It's bigger, so much bigger. What was the number again? What was it? 7 point.
And let me just say this, because when you are talking about that immigrants, our Black think tanks, that is not an issue the way Black people think it's an issue. It's an issue when you don't get ready and you don't organize and you don't get prepared. Okay? Because immigration in many markets can drive down prices. It can drive down, and also can add other options to the things that we need. Because at the end of the day, if white folks can take advantage of the fact that immigration is going to bring so much more robust to the economy and robust to the service market and to the labor market, that's the time that we can do the same too. We've been here. We are people, the reason why they want to come here, because this shit was not built until we built it. Now, with that being said, right, my goal here is to make sure that you understand that your ancestors did not fight for you to have the right to vote. I want to repeat that. They just did not work hard, being killed, dying, and getting beat up and all that shit for you to just merely vote. They did that for you to vote your interests and for you to have the right to vote right, to vote in your interest. Now, one of the things that we got it up, I'm going to talk about education in a way that it's just very simple. The public school and Department of Education, okay, obviously they goes back, public schools go back a while, maybe 2 centuries. However, when you talk about the Department of Education, to make sure that public schools are healthy enough that the middle class has access to decent education because they're taxpayers. That happened in the 70s. And then you had the stronghold, because one of the strongest labors in the United States is the teachers union. Okay. And so that makes sure that great education is not colloquial and it's not privatized. And of course, then you're going to have people start requiring and looking at your high school, where you went, just like they're going to, be talking about what college you went to, because the conservative thought is that they want you to have a choice, but there is death of your freedoms behind that. We want you to have freedom to make the choice. There should be a public choice, and that should be the covenant that we give the taxpayer. That should be the standard of a healthy and wealthy nation, is a good public school. But conservatives want to turn it privatized. And so I just want you guys to understand, don't get your ass caught up, okay, in no private school. Now, I'm not saying the private school is bad. What I'm saying is it is not at the brunt of the public school education. And under Project 2025, and they are headed to a sort of defund. And let's be honest, Project 2025 is benign neglect policy all over again from Nixon.
Right. And if you want a refresher on benign neglect, we're gonna say his name. Don't cook it up, look it up. Patrick Moynihan. Y'all please do a little bit. Just Google him and you will get the whole benign neglect. Because we ain't trying to bore y'all, but we would be no types of cosmetologist. We would be no type of editor-in-chief of a legacy magazine and newspaper. We would be no type of cosmetic chemist. We would be no heirs and heiresses and students of the late great Dr. Willie Morrow and all the wonderful people in that photo if we do not address this with the influence that we have and the knowledge that we know. This is not information that we are making up. And so now this is part 2. We're going to continue this on Thursday. But Cheryl, before we have them hit the like button, because we're doing good here, talk about this, go a little bit further with the education and higher education. When y'all say Donald Trump, he ain't started yet. It has, like she said, he was already doing this stuff. But even when you look at the student loan debt, and talk about that a little bit. Again, 125 episodes in, and we're talking about Project 2025 and its effects on the Black hair care industry and your purchasing power as a consumer. And you're learning so far, you are the people. You are the people, especially if you're Black, not Black and brown, Black. That they talking about. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Cheryl.
Right. And just to close that out in terms of education, is that there is a pipeline in the because you go from preschool, right, and kindergarten and through middle school, junior high school, and high school. That is supposed to be the pipeline to what we call employment, right? And if that is disrupted in any way, right, then you have less and less choices. Plus, you pay more. Now, one of the things that you guys probably did not know is that under Trump's first presidency, he stalled and gutted the Pell Grant. Okay. And it's so funny because he won't mention the Pell Grant, which means that many families uses the Pell Grant to get into junior colleges and to get their associate's degree.
I used it.
Okay. That was taken away under the Trump administration, and he completely stalled it. I don't think he reinstated it after COVID to a certain extent. Maybe different states dealt with that differently. But I will say that what and let me just say this, debt relief in terms of, I remember Ladosha calling me and talking about their internal conversation about Republicans in the House and Democrats in the House were talking about the deregulation of cosmetology hours and how that really was a conversation based on the salons, franchise salons as the lobby. They wanted to get them faster through the pipeline, right, and get them into the salons and make them employees so they can start paying. And then I said to you, Ladosha, maybe it's an economic issue. Maybe they're defaulting on their student loans and Pell Grants. Well, Pell Grant is free. But here's the thing. We have to now be smarter as an industry to get to understand that maybe the whole is just lack of education to the point where it's not exciting. They're not learning anything that they really can use in their professional salons. So this is just a trickle effect. So when you don't pay your student loan back, it's probably because you can't.
Right. And these are the things that we're talking about when we're saying how does this Project 2025 affect you as a consumer? Again, I'm not telling you guys don't go to Best Cuts, don't rock with Paul Mitchell. Don't do it. These are the people who are fueling your demise. Remember, Make America Great Again. He's not talking to who? You. He ain't talking to you. It don't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. But what will fit is if you guys can do, Cheryl's going to show you what you guys need to do right now to help change the narrative about Project 2025 and its effect on Black hair care and what we are doing with our monies, with our businesses. So show them what they need to do right now, Cheryl. Here you go, guys.
Pump me on. Pump me on.
Tough conversation to have, but you're not going to hear this on any old just regular podcast, right? Because you are now tuned in or you're watching America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. And again, we can assure you, you're not going to hear too much of this, but if you share the content, we can get the word out that there are two cosmetologists here in the United States that really cares about the consumers. So super duper shout out right quick before we go into part 2, a little bit of this. What's up, VK? Michelle Allen, always glad to have you. Dewey, what's happening? LB, we love you very much. Theo, how you doing? Melanie, did you just, I'm sorry, Melanik. Sure, we have a new cousin. Can everybody put their hands together? I did not see you creep on through here. So here we go. A warm welcome for Miss Melanik is in the chat. New We love to welcome new people with a big fat round of applause. And of course, we do appreciate your support very, very much. Also, we got another super duper duper shout out. We got Michelle Allen. We said, oh, Sandra, our virtual host, is in the chat asking everybody to hit that thumbs up button. So, Sandra, we're glad to have you. Michelle, we're glad to have you. So we appreciate you over here on Instagram. Instagram is on fire. Okay. Davina, what's up? DJ Candy Mac, I want to see who you be. Kia, what's happening? My uncle was in the chat. Sharice, how you doing? The week taking you back. My cousin, what's up? EC Ray, I'm from EC. Sipping on Rossi, chilling with my posse. He is my real cousin. I like to brag about that. So what's happening to everybody over on Instagram? A lot of names over there. We thank you guys so much for stopping in. Please, guys, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Now, you're getting a real good dose of how Project 2025 is affecting us as consumers and everyday citizens. Now we're going to go into healthcare just a little bit. So, Cheryl, take it away with some healthcare.
Okay. I actually, it looks a little weird in the PDF, right?
Okay, let me put. I got you.
Let me ask you. One of the things that people say, health is wealth, right? You've heard that many times. It really comes down not just about women's rights. I want men and women, I want you guys to hear this. Black hairstylists, please, if you can pass anything on in your salons and barbershops, okay? The healthcare for infants, healthcare for mothers, okay, is really important to deal with, especially the stark differences. And I know we say Project 25 is at this point is codified language between Trump and Harris at this point. However, but healthcare is usually about what is about to be taken away. Of course, you have heard Trump say on the podium, what kind of democracy do we have? We're capitalists. Everybody doesn't have healthcare. Everybody doesn't have healthcare. Everybody, or I've even heard some Black conservatives say, why should I work hard and everybody get with what I get? In other words, as if to say premium healthcare is going away. Okay, because at the end of the day, you don't have to get the free universal healthcare because you're so successful and you just said you work harder, then you go get that expensive, more premium healthcare. No one is stopping you, okay? But millions of Black Americans will be comatose if Project 25 and Trump has his way in terms of conservatives, because what it does, it conserves an era where people have an advantage in terms of what they call the founding fathers America, which puts the ruling class. You guys know what a ruling class is. The ruling class is what? German Europeans, Polish immigrants,
Italian,
British, Italian. It's called European. Okay, on top. Let's
not
go back
not African Americans.
Let's
European Americans.
Let's turn the clock back because we want the advantages, because we want to put a clock, a stop on the fact that people of color, okay, the average. Now, if anyone wants to be really sexy and foxy, as you would say, okay, Lolo, what is the median age of African Americans from 2023? They haven't taken the 2024 yet, but 2023, the median age of African Americans.
The median age. What's the median age for African Americans in America? What, anybody want to take a stab at that?
2023.
What's the median age? All right. Now I'm gonna drop mine in the chat.
You gonna drop yours?
I'm gonna drop my answer in the chat because I ain't scared out here. All right. I'm gonna say the median age. Well, you said 28, 65. I was gonna say I'm gonna say 37. No, maybe not. Maybe not 37. I'm looking at weekdays. I'm gonna say 32. I think the median age is 32. All right. So we got 21. All right. Let's see what we got. Y'all okay? Y'all working out. Y'all rocking it out with us. Okay. All right, Cheryl, you got some nice numbers in the chat. We're all over the place. 28, 65, 21, 32, but mid 20s, early 20s is winning so far.
The average age, because I don't know why they keep screwing up black people's age, but the average age is 26 to 28 years old.
Okay, you guys, Michelle Allen.
26 to 28. 0.1.
All right. So Michelle Allen, you got it. Okay. And why is that important to know?
Now, what is the median age of Latinos? 2023.
That's the median.
The median age for Latinos in America. What's the?
Okay, Dewey says 23. I don't know nothing about Latin American, so I can't even begin to play around with that. All right, for poops and giggles, if we're 26, I would say, I'm going to say 21 with them.
Well, what did you say? Are we cooking it up or are we looking it up?
No, we letting you do it in essence of time.
Oh,
what is
okay. All right. It's approximately 19.
19. All right. We're all off. I said 21. So what do these numbers mean to us, Cheryl? Why are you asking these questions? Everybody wants to know. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for responding. What's up, Monica? I see you in the chat. My BFF. There you go.
No. What's going on? It also means that this project 2025. They're not going without a fight. They are the oldest. I think Japan is the oldest people on the planet, and Europe is not too far behind them. They get it. Don't you realize that if black people are the average age is about 28 years old, 38, 48, 58, 68, that's 40 more years of working. And if you are 45 to 50, I think white Americans are about 50. That means by the time, even in the next 20 years, you're not working. You're depending solely on people of color, your total workforce. And when you do the numbers, because this is how they think. One of the issues, in fact, I don't think the oldest white Americans in this country can take another pandemic. I don't think that they can take another pandemic. Because one of the things that COVID said is that what is the most vulnerable population in the COVID epidemic? Elderly.
Mm-hmm.
And people with pre-existing conditions. My point is, when you have the continent, which is the average age of the entire continent of Africa is about 18 years old. Then you do Latin America. The whole Latin America is probably going to be 18 years old. The average age of Americans, Black Americans, are 28, not even 30 yet. When you understand what that means to the world economy, the global picture, you are no longer in charge of the world. And so this is what we have to understand. And the most sophisticated people of color, in my opinion, are the Black people in the continental U.S. We have the heritage to understand what is really going on. So it really behooves us to be the bullhorn, to understand that we've been living with this jackass for a while, about 300, 400 years. We know him like the back of our hand. And the key here is for us to understand and to not to get into some adversarial prejudice, racist relationship with them. It's to understand that there is a mere survival and scuffling and scratching kind of energy behind this whole thing. And we've got to really understand that they are trying to really maintain power. And that's what power does. It doesn't care. It doesn't feel sorry. You can't guilt it. You can't shame it.
And so are you saying, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but are you saying that because of the age of the quote unquote black and brown people, that this is fueling older European Americans with this Project 2025? Is that what you're saying?
Say that again.
Are you saying that the young ages of African Americans and, I'm sorry, black and brown people, these younger people, is this the concern of these conservatives who are writing this Project 2025? Is that why you were asking us about
right. Well, let me, and I know we will expand this on Thursday, but why did me and you did not get a chance to enjoy the Bronner Brothers show the last time we were there?
Yeah, because we had to run over and help fight prosperity for Americans, which again, these are the people who are officially a part of Project 2025, who was vying. They were writing laws. They paid off. We saw them pay off black people hair care products to help,
what was
their law.
Age? No, what was the age of these people?
The age of which people?
That they were giving gift bags and buying.
Oh, they were all young people.
Bingo. They understand that the vanguards, and I don't know if older black Americans don't understand. I don't know if the Congressional Black Caucus gets it. I don't know if the NAACP gets it. I don't know if the Urban League gets it. I don't know if the Black Church gets it. I don't give a shit. But what I do know is that young people, they want younger black people to influence the Black American plight. And
there you go. Okay, you brought it in full circle because I was totally lost. Why you were asking us the median ages of African Americans and the median ages of Latin Americans. And you're saying that they want them to fuel to
get them conservative, to get them to understand, and to get them to identify with their ideology. Okay. And that is why do you think, and I'm not trying to be funny or vulgar or facetious with this statement, why do you think that their first entry into Gen Z and millennials would be through black men? Because you go to the one that is less resourced. You go to the one who is more apt and to be more empathetic, to what they're talking about. And it's not the fact that they are not smart. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that people who have more to lose have more to conserve.
Could you hear that? Break that down. People who have more to lose have more to conserve. What does that mean?
Which means is if I know that I'm the weakest link on the totem pole, if I know that I am most likely, if I let everybody just be peaceful and have a, kumbaya and rights and equal rights and equity, I'm probably going to fall to the bottom of the pecking order. Okay. Because I am probably physically the weakest link. I am the oldest link. I am going to be out of the job market within the next 25 years. And that is, and if you even add 20 years, even onto 30 years, they're only 50. You add 30 years onto a 50 years, they're 80. They have been retired 20 years by then. The point is that I am no longer, we don't belong to the group that is having children the fastest. We're not part of the group that is multiplying, has a history of being part of the hardest working people that have the longest masonry, the longest work history, the longest labor history on the planet.
So we're becoming obsolete, guys.
So they have more to lose. So when people have more to lose, they hold on to things. That's why they're the most conservative. And conservative means holding on to the past. Okay. That's why Make America Great Again. And that is why Kamala is very codified in her language and say, we're not going back. See, the acoustics and the optics have to hit the ear correctly. And it's resonating with women. But when males think about it, regardless if they're Hispanic or they're African American or they are of European descent, they're saying, well, if things can just go back to where I will be secure a job and secure a couple of things just as a man, then maybe that's a better world than me getting out here having to fend myself and compete against Indians and Chinese, Asians, and all of these other forces in the world that, well, you know, the white Republican government's going to make it easier for me because if they're going to safeguard a couple of United States covenants.
In other words, y'all, hood style.
Right.
Here we go, hood style. In other words, number 45 is banking on Black men to fall for the head of household. Right. You know, when man was running things, you know, when women get in that kitchen and cook me a dinner.
Even though I know Black women have always worked.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys see the trickery? So they're banking on that. They're banking on young Black men, all of them. They're banking on men falling for the ideal of what it is to be a man from a Eurocentric standpoint, because you know, and that whole colonialism is not just isolated to America, but right now this is an American situation. So we hope you guys see what's happening here in the bigger picture. And as we look at it from the perspective of hair, it's where we're spending our dollars. You're fueling a conservative agenda that you may not be aware of, and you may be buying into a conservative agenda because you're not really going a little bit deeper into thinking about, why am I supporting this person who is doing these things? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to come back next on Thursday, and part 2, we have to go into it from a professional standpoint, because now we're going into Beauty and the Beast, and we're going to start off again with this image that Cheryl, I love the image, and please, I'm going to put the image on all of our social media platforms. Can you guys just cut and paste and share that image? And we're going to talk about this Project 2025 as it relates to, number 1, the Crown Act, and number 2, industrial stakeholders losses. All right. Number 3, benign neglect. And then number 4, deregulation and defamation. Now, remember, if you're struggling with the benign neglect, please, y'all, just go look up. If you don't want to read it, just Google or YouTube Patrick Moynihan, and you'll get a feel for the atrocities of benign neglect in the late 60s, moving into the 70s. That was one of my first college papers, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, that was one of my first college papers, and that also kind of pushed me into cosmetology. I'm not even joking, And another thing we want to, just in case you guys have just got into the chat, Cheryl highlighted jockeying for resources. That's us. You know, they want us to do the work. Seat at the table, they're not talking to us. Never was, never have, never will be. Make America great again. Ain't nobody talking to nobody African American, black, brown, whatever you want to call yourself. Immigration. They don't want. They say they don't want those Haitians in Springfield working those jobs, but they ain't working them, y'all.
And let me just say this. Please don't fall for the same old trick. Now Kamala said something to you guys. She gave you another codified word that you guys got to look up because she got to talk to you guys in code. And she said old playbook. She didn't say old play manual. She didn't say old historic connotations. She didn't say the same old, same old. She said play book. What are we talking about? A book. So when she says that, the key here is to understand that she's saying this. At the end of the day, all of these things have already been implemented. They just had some sort of, you guys had a break. It's called civil rights. Now, ironically, Trump talks about I know you guys are dealing with the gubernatorial lieutenant governor in Florida. He is more conservative than Trump. He is more conservative than the conservative of a conservative. He's more conservative than Strom Thurmond ever was. But publicly, Trump compares him to MLK Jr.
All right.
That is the author. Okay. Now let me just say this: Project 2025 didn't start when it put in a book, and I'm going to tell you why. You guys remember George H. Bush, right?
Okay.
What did he run on? Tough on crime. Who was the example? You guys remember a man named Willie Horton?
No.
You guys got to read, okay? Willie Horton and George W. Bush through Lee Atwater, which is a puppet master. He's deceased now. He died a horrible death. Lee Atwater wasn't a nice man. Anyway, but they ran the campaign on this black man who was a monster, a black man. Now, during the years of all of those serial killers, all of those mass murderers, all of those sociopathic white males, not one president ever used them, but they always use black ones. Okay, so George H. Bush uses Willie Horton against Dukakis. I know you guys remember Dukakis. No, that's Willie Horton. Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, that's not Willie Horton. That's the baseball player Willie Horton. But up in that right upper corner, that's Willie Horton. He got out on furlough, and he did do something stupid. Okay, and he got caught up. Anyway, George H. Bush used his criminality, used that black man. First of all, his name is not Willie, it is William, but they shortened it to even make him look more animalistic. Okay, and so they use that. Second, here comes Clinton. Clinton uses a man named Ricky Rector. I want you guys to look up Ricky Rector because this one is very savage and because Clinton executed him. And Ricky was mentally ill. He did not know anything that he was doing. In fact, he had the mind of a child. Okay. In fact, as he was going to the execution, he said he was going to vote for the man that was going to kill him. He didn't even know that president, which was running at the time, which was Bill Clinton. He didn't know he was going to execute him. So they used the savagery of another black person. Now, come forward to 2024. And America has this hatred for Haiti because Haiti is one of the oldest free independent countries, probably older than the United States, that fought for its freedom from the French and sent their asses home packing, killed their ass, sent them home packing. Now, if Trump would actually, in a debate, set up Haitian Americans to once again use Black bodies to fuel their tough on crime. See, it never changes. And you guys just think things are locked in time. They're never locked in time. They're always going back. They're never going forward. Never. It's incompatible to their mission. Power is incompatible to power to move out away from your best interest. And that is basically what Project 2025 locks. He said it. Christians, if you vote this time, you won't have to vote again. And so that is the importance of what is at stake.
Now,
Willie Horton, Ricky Rector, the Haitians. It's almost like every other president.
All right, now take a moment out and replay. If you want to, we're giving you guys permission. Cut that little piece and replay it so people can understand what's happening. We're asking everyone in the chat, number one, to share the content. Number two, understand how, again, you may not be aware that your dollars and your clicks and what you're consuming by way of auditory and visual, you may be fueling this situation and you're being draped into something in which you have no knowledge of. I am going to drop the Project 2025 link in the chat. This is a wonderful article. The gentleman, his name is Will Shelton. You can find it on LinkedIn, but I am definitely going to put his article in the chat.
Nice. Yeah.
It's a great article. It is a great article. Follow him also on LinkedIn. Again, his name is Will Shelton, and the silent agreement between Black-owned businesses and the communities that built them. It's a wonderful, fascinating read. And I ain't gonna hate, like I said, that Project 2025. Oh, it's real foxy if you into that kind of stuff. But best believe they not like us.
No.
And they not talking to us. And we hope you guys understand. So come back and join us on Thursday. Cheryl is being very, very powerful here. And we appreciate you, our support. Miss Sandra, it was so nice to see you in the chat. One more time before we close this out, Cheryl, can you show them what they need to do to help change the narrative right now about the Project 2025 and its effects on how we're operating as consumers in the Black beauty industry? Here you go, guys.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right. So everybody on Instagram, whoa. All right. They said we broke it down both intellectually and hood style, because that's what we're doing. We're not trying to misinform anybody, but we have to have this pertinent conversation. Stop watching the Diddy and the other dumb stuff and understand what these people are doing to us right before our very eyes. All right, Cheryl, there are no words to capture what this means, what you're doing to help us understand Project 2025 in ways that we can make better decisions about our lives and for our future and the children and our elderly. We truly appreciate you for, as they say, make it make sense. All right, guys, you know what we say when we're signing out, right? It's about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and a whole lot of hair. But remember, check this out. Don't forget, Cheryl and I, where we're going to be in October. We're going to be at the Beauty Under One Roof. That's right. We're going to be there. So if you know some hairstylists and all that good stuff, tell them to come check Cheryl and I out. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that on Thursday. But remember, your bald heads, your bald spots, all that stuff is beautiful too. And so are you. And it was wonderful to see everybody come back in the chat. I saw you, my boss. Everybody dropped them L's in the chat. Lavina came through. She said that's some real insight. Sir Pooh, don't forget, let me know what you need. Condolences to you and your family. We love you very, very much. Lawana, you rocked it out with us again. So you guys, y'all have a wonderful wonderful night. And please join us on Thursday. We're going to get a little bit deeper. And don't forget again to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the 125th episode of The Dumbest Shit That People Say About Black Hair. Like Project 2025. Y'all better pay attention. All right, guys. Good night. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed her. Dang! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What?
Pumpa me up.
About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.